Dr. Kathy, how are you? The clitoris. The clitoris. Can you even say clitoris? I'm reading that people can't even say the word clitoris, men and women. Nuh-uh. We cannot allow that. We have to say the clitoris. This is one of the most important organs we females have, and we've got to stand up and demand for people to know more about it. Where does the word even come from, clitoris? It comes from a Greek origin of clitoris, which means the hill or to rub. That's the original origins of the word clitoris. Clitoris. Now, obviously, we know it's not a little hill anymore, right? It's more of a complex structure. So please say it with me, clitoris. Men and women, adults, even in school, they need to learn about the clitoris, right? So I'm not going to say adolescent up or 18 and older. I think we need to learn about this earlier. How early? We'll get back and talk about that some other time. But right now, the clitoris is really not known. So let's pay some attention to it today, okay? Guys, gals, let's study the clitoris. Not into depth, not into detail, just where is it? What is it? Okay? So the definition in the dictionaries, they vary, but it really is an erectile organ or tissue located in the vulva that is responsible for sexual arousal in the female. Isn't that cool? An erectile tissue, it's an erectile organ. It actually gets erect. Do y'all know that? Now, most of you do, but some of you don't. So we want everyone to understand it's not a little button or a little bulb or a little pea-sized organ. This is the clitoris. See how big it is? So I drew it so that you see a little bit of a bigger picture of it, right? And I want to describe the parts of it. It's a little bit difficult on the smaller model. Okay, so our clitoris, isn't it cute? I mean, again, discovered around 1998, but they didn't know it was full of a network of nerves, over 20,000 nerves and erectile tissue till 2005. Around 2005, Dr. Helen discovered it. And I think through MRIs and imaging and stuff, found out that it has a lot of erectile tissue. So you know what that means, y'all? It gets erect, just like the penis. And honestly, the penis and the clitoris come from the same fetal origin. When we're born, men and women, male, female, they develop into either the penis or the clitoris. And if I can get a picture of the penis, it has very similar components and have similar origins. It's just that it develops into different functions, which we know, right? So our clitoris is huge. I'm going to say it again. It's humongous. Who would have known? I didn't know that in medical school. It took me a while before I knew that. And it's sad because even now the textbooks don't show or don't talk a lot about the clitoris because they still depict it as some small little organ. We have to change that. We've got to get the textbooks up to date to learn about the clitoris and to learn about the parts of the clitoris, right? So the glans, clitoris, is like the glans penis, right? So that very sensitive top part of the penis, we have a very sensitive top part of the clitoris, okay? So I want to just describe the anatomy a little bit, not too much. So that is the very sensitive area. And it's really hidden, most of the time, it's hidden by the hood. So we have a little hood that covers it up. So you really can't see it, right? Unless you are aroused or unless you have a bigger clitoris, right? Then you can see it a little bit more than in someone that has a smaller clitoris. So the question is, do you know where your clitoris is? So if you're looking for your clitoris, men, women, you follow the inner labia minora, right? And this is somewhere here. All right, the labia minora is somewhere here on the outside. Okay, so this structure is 90% hidden. Only about 10%, that's the glans clitoris, is exposed. And sometimes it's not even exposed, right? When you're not aroused, it's not exposed. So if you can imagine, this is the smaller inner lips of the vulva or the vagina right there. That is the inner labia minora. The outer labia minora is the bigger lips, is a little bit out here. But that's all external. That's what we see. The only thing we see of the whole structure is the glans clitoris. The hood covers it, and behind the hood is the body, which connects the glans clitoris to the rest of the clitoris. So we've got the body of the clitoris right there that extends to the two crura, right? Those are the legs. All right. And then we have the bulb right here. And this bulb is the erectile tissue that also does get erect, just like the glans clitoris. But this one, it gets erect further down here where the vagina and the urethra is. So this is the urethra, a separate opening from, the bladder. And this is the vagina, another separate opening from the, uterus and cervix and stuff. So they're coming in here, and this wraps around both. And so when it gets engorged, when it gets aroused, they all enlarge, especially the bulb and the clitoris, the glans clitoris gets very sensitive. So when it enlarges, you're going to actually feel it if you are properly engorged and aroused, right? Especially if there's some penetration, right? So if there's some penetration, then your partner will feel it and you're going to feel it. It's like there's some tightening going on in there, but it's extra tightening from just the muscle or the vagina tightening. It's extra. There's something extra. Now, some people are sensitive to it, some people are not, because it does depend on the size of the clitoris, the size. So there are small clitorises, and I'm saying the whole thing, not just the button. And yes, I do know it is hard to find for some people. And I do know that some people have it removed, right? The glans clitoris, and they have different degrees of how they remove it in some cultures, which we are not supporting at all, right? Female genital mutilation. So if you have any of that, we can help. So do get help, reach out, I'll let you know, okay? So if you have an intact clitoris, you are going to be able to get aroused, and it moves from this part of the clitoris to the whole clitoris being aroused. And then it does grab the vagina and the urethra. So it's all involved in the erection of this clitoris. All this area gets stimulated and is almost grabbed. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's the truth. It's grabbed by, especially the bulb. The bulb is about 4 to 7 centimeters long. The wings or the crura are about 5 to 9 centimeters long, right? So that's pretty long. It's almost coming around. It actually can almost get to the anus for some people, right? So if the anus is here, it gets to the anus, and that can be involved, again, depending on the size. So yes, we have different sizes. I hear there's a craze now in California and some parts of the country where people are actually going to get their clitoris enlarged. They can go to a plastic surgeon and get the clitoris enlarged so that they can feel more sensation. They can actually have better orgasms, but there's still studies that don't really support that. So it's sort of case by case. Some do and some don't get the effects of arousal and better orgasms. So look into that. More studies have to be done on that. But the going on right now, what's in vogue in California and again some other parts of the country, is getting either hyaluronic acid injected into it, some filler, collagen filler to make it bigger, which is more uh, aesthetic, more for looks. Again, some people have said that they've got better arousals with that, right? It's more sensitive, it's more exposed when you enlarge it. But we're used to people wanting it reduced. They don't want it too big. But now there is a fad where people want it enlarged because they get better arousal and better sex with their partner. And some people even use it as a fetish. That's new to me, but some people are using an enlarged clitoris as a fetish. So I hear you can go to some sites and find out pictures and find out much more about how to do it and all that stuff. But please talk to your doctor if you're interested in getting the clitoris enlarged or reduced, because there are professionals that will do that for you. Okay. But it brings out the question, it begs the question, is a bigger clitoris better than a smaller clitoris? And I think the answer is it depends on the innervation, right? It depends on how much nerves. That's what's matter. That's what matters. And that is what the orgasm is based on, the innervation of the clitoris. Also remember that if your nerves are weak, affected by sugar, which is the most common neuropathy that I see, sugar neuropathy, right? That means that you're not going to feel as much to get aroused. So please look into your physical, get your blood work done, check and make sure you don't have any sugar issues. Because if you do, that can affect the sensation and it's more numb and you're not going to get that great orgasm you're looking for. So remember, look for a doctor like me that will look into it and connect the dots and test you for neuropathy, okay? This, though, is the general location. So if you follow your inner lips, if you can't find your clitoris, just in case, follow your inner lips, go to the top, and it should be at the top, the glans clitoris, and then, behind it is the rest of the clitoris. Okay? So when stimulated, this is part of what starts the cascade of reactions going back to the brain through the spinal cord and giving you the voluntary and involuntary muscle movement, right? Contributing to the orgasm with other things, right? Which will cause the different stages of the orgasm to happen. But knowing where the clitoris is very important. Again, it's not just a little button. It is really a large complex structure that has parts of it that do certain roles to, again, enhance your pleasure and enhance your orgasm. So we can't talk about an orgasm if you don't know where it is. So remember, the small lips, the inner lips, follow it, and then you'll find the glans clitoris. And you can start there, but it also is very important to address the other parts of the clitoris, which is behind the skin. So it's not like you can actually locate these parts, right? You're just going to know that they're behind there and that you're doing something in order for them to get aroused and erect, especially the bulbs. Okay, so the take-home message today is the clitoris is big. We need to be able to locate it. They say 1 in 3 women don't even know where to locate or where to find the clitoris in a textbook. That is not acceptable. So go to a textbook. They probably might not even have a picture in there, or they might have a very small picture, but go to the textbooks that have the wings and the bulb included in the diagram for the clitoris. I think that it helps for you to also imagine your clitoris, get to know it, communicate with it, again, on your own time, women, all right? So that if you are with a partner, you can show your partner, guide your partner to it also, in case he doesn't know where it is either, right? And the guiding factor, I said, is the labia minora or the hood. Now, people can have problems with the clitoris now, right? I'm not going to go to the problems of the clitoris. I just want you to know where it is. If you have problems with the clitoris, yes, that has to be addressed. For example, pain, right? People do get pain in the clitoris, the different parts of the clitoris, right? So if you are having any pain with arousal, even with no arousal, just seek out a doctor, get help. We can treat that. My main area in terms of an erogenous zone, right? This is one of the erogenous zones, is being able to make sure that you know where yours is. I do sometimes have a difficult time locating it sometimes, but those are in people sometimes that have issues and have been out of the country and have cultures that might do things that they don't even know they've had done. So again, that's more complex. But most women are able to find it, feel it, locate it. If it's small, it sometimes can be difficult to find, but you need to know where it is to show your partner, okay, for bedroom activities. If you want to have it more stimulated, the most common way to go would be hormones. And this is where you see a doctor like me that specializes in dealing with bioidentical hormones, balancing hormones, and making sure that your testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen is on point. Because the testosterone primarily, and the estrogen is there to keep it moist and to keep it lubricated. The testosterone, though, is really what is in charge of the structures, uh, innovation, and arousal and desires. So you're getting the testosterone at a certain level to affect your clitoris so that it functions better and healthier, and you can have your sensation improved with testosterone. So testosterone therapy, again, is something that I would say refer to a doctor that knows what they're doing so that you can decide whether you're going to get a cream, the pellets, the injection. I don't believe in topicals. Sorry, I don't believe in oral testosterone. Topical is okay, but you have to know how much to use, not too much, because you don't want to get it too enlarged. But some people are sensitive to it and do get enlarged, and others don't. I don't see it much enlarged clitorises, but it happens, especially for those that had an enlarged clitoris from not from birth, but as a younger child. So it does easily get bigger for some people genetically, and for others it does not. Is it a big issue if it's small? It's again not the size, it is more the innovation and how sensitive it is. Can you improve that? Yes. Again, testosterone is where I would start, balancing your hormones, supplements, vitamins, eating well, exercise, Kegel exercises, gentle exercises, getting that heart pumping, getting your circulation going, stress, de-stressing, taking care of yourself, loving yourself, communicating, remember? And getting that relaxed state of mind where you can actually allow the clitoris to get to work. And that is what I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions, let me know, send me a message. But just remember, do you know where your clitoris is? Do you know that it's bigger than just a small button? Do you know that the whole clitoris has to get aroused, not just the top, right? Not just the head, right? Not just the body. You want everything, the legs, the bulbs, to be aroused in order to enhance your sexual pleasure and your sexual results, which is the orgasm, right? The orgasm. All right. So I will see you guys Monday. I have a guest that's going to be talking with us. So stay tuned and thanks for listening in. I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.